Now, with your experience in the military, I want to ask, with the values that's been instilled in you, do you feel as though that those values are easily transitioned into your today's life?
I don't know if the word is easily transitioned, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely do think that it helps me in my career today. And
Mm-hmm.
no matter what career I would have picked, having those values and disciplines
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely one of the reasons why I'm successful.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest things that I have, and it's brought to my attention at least every couple of weeks with either a coworker, a client, my team, that I am very level headed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm very humble in the fact that not everything's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, it's hard. I have an example. So, seeing the things that I've seen while deployed, which is I've seen some of the worst of humanity, some of the ugliest pictures you could possibly imagine. I have been there with my own eyes, with my own hands. I've experienced really the ugly of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then to come to be in, mortgage lending, right? Where sometimes things go wrong. And sometimes you have to give somebody bad news, like, hey, we're not going to close on Wednesday, we're going to close on Thursday. Sometimes the unexpected comes up. And it's interesting for somebody, a real estate agent will say, oh, they're devastated. This is the worst day of their life. And I kind of have to just, and then of course, then my team gets worked up and they're like, oh my gosh, they're so upset. What do we do? And they all get worked up. I'm like, okay, everybody take a deep breath together. This is not the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
They are not devastated. It might be upsetting. And yes, some logistics have to take place. And yes, it's annoying for sure. But let's all just think about the actual worst day of your life. This is not it. And I feel like I have a unique skill to be able to get somebody on the phone that's upset and talk them down
Ease them off.
and ease them off. Yes, because their agent might call them and they're already upset, so then they upset the buyer that didn't even realize they were supposed to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
But because everybody else is mad, they just assume they're supposed to be upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but then I get them on the phone and I can say like, "All right, what's the worst day of your life? All right, you're in the military. You've deployed a few times before, right? Okay. So, the fact that we have to move a closing from Wednesday to Thursday, which is completely unfortunate, I understand. 3 things need to happen. Let's lay out those 3 things. How about you do 1 and I'll do 2? Great. Are we good? Everyone's happy? You're going to be a homeowner in 2 days? Okay. And I feel like a unique skill to be able to kind of calm people down and make people realize that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a skill that most do not obtain, but it sounds like you were able to, utilize all of your experience and really be able to put that into real life scenarios because, like you said, a lot of this stuff is very feeble when we think about it, right? It's nothing that is it's just gonna blow up the world, right?
Right.
Being deployed, it puts you in a different position and a different mindset of understanding, like, hey, it's a lot worse than what you think. It's not a lot. It can be a lot worse than what you think.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a very unique skill set to have. And again, by being able to kind of outline a plan, you're able to kind of execute. So
Yes,
it's
I'm a
fast.
very logical thinker. So I think, and I definitely got that from the military. So it helps with problem solving now in any aspect of my life.
Black and white.
Yes.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
This is the start. This is the finish.
Right.
Let's
Let's
get
take your
there.
emotions and put them over there. What do we need to do to fix it?
Emotions and feelings are two different things.
Yes.
Let's put it in place. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. But now with that, obviously, I want to really touch base on what we're doing in the community, right? Again, this platform here is to be able to support our veterans, our active duty members, our reservists, again, all of our brothers and sisters in arms. So please tell me, one, I want to talk about the VA home loan,
Yes.
right? Let's
Love
talk
it.
about the VA home loan a bit. This is an amazing, amazing product. I cannot speak so highly of another option of a mortgage loan than this. So tell me if you can give us a little bit of background in your experience in regards to VA loans and also some information in regards to a VA loan and what it entails.
Sure, absolutely. So you're right. VA home loans is the best option out there. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you're putting down. If you have access to the VA home loan, 95% of the time, it's going to be the better option than anything else. I have high income earners. I just had a closing recently where he was an attorney. high income earner, had served, in the Navy 20 years ago, was putting 20% down. So just assumed, why use my VA loan? Because a lot of people think I'm only using the VA loan because it's no down payment. No, it's just a cheaper product. So I showed him side by side, you can do a conventional loan with 20% down, or you can do a VA loan with 20% down. And here are the numbers side by side. And he was blown away. He didn't realize that the VA loan was still a better product, even though you're not taking advantage of the no down payment. You don't have to do that. It's just one of the biggest perks. So I have been a mortgage lender. I've been in mortgage lending since 2013. I got out of the military in Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty, North Carolina. And that's when I got into mortgage lending. So every loan that I closed for my first 3 years in business was a VA loan. That's all I knew. It's not because I tried to get into it. It's because that community,
It came to you.
that's all it was, exactly. Yeah. So it was actually interesting relocating to Las Vegas, having to get good at the other products as well.
Yeah.
But because I had so many reps at that point, I mean, at this point, I've helped over 600 military families use their VA loan. So moving to Las Vegas and having that much experience, I was able to really, dig my teeth into the community and try and help with education. Because the biggest problem with VA loans is that there are more myths than anything else. With, conventional and FHA, there's a few myths out there that we try to debunk. But with VA, I could name 100 things that I've heard people say about the VA loan that are flat out wrong. And we can't figure out, as a mortgage and real estate community that is invested in our VA loan and our military service members, we can't figure out how to debunk this myth nationwide. Like, how do we get this out besides doing every podcast and every class and volunteering for every possible scenario that I can? We don't know how to debunk these myths. Like, why is it now in 2025, I am still hearing service members say, I can only use my VA loan once. That's been a myth for 20 years. Why is it still here? That's one of the biggest frustrations, is that no matter what we say, how many times we say it, these myths are still out there. So we're just trying to get the information out to the community. We're trying to hammer it to them, and it's difficult to overcome.
Yeah. I have so much to say upon that, because the VA loan is such a powerful tool. It literally can change your life.
Absolutely.
And I can't explain it. She'll definitely be able to explain it better than I can. But I'll tell you this, just is being able to debunk all myths in regards to whether if it's VA benefits, right, healthcare benefits, education benefits. I think it's the same problem. Correct. I think it's the same problem. Instead, a lot of times when service members are transitioning out, we get our little TAPS class or what have you, or supposedly, right? But then you're not really educated. You're not really provided the information. And you have to also understand that most people are literally relocating to their home location. They have children that they need to be able to tend to while relocating. Some retirees, so going through that retiree mindset of transitioning, you never really obtain the information. So instead of doing it at the end, let's try to do it at the beginning.
Right.
And let's educate, right?